After 7 months with the iPhone Air, there's exactly one thing I have to be honest with you about. On paper, this phone is a complete flop. Apple has reportedly cut production by 80%. The iPhone Air 2 has been pushed back to 2027, and there are some serious rumors that Apple might just kill the entire Air lineup after the second generation. We are talking only a few 100,000 units sold, while the regular iPhone 17 is flying off the shelves. And yet, this phone has been in my pocket every single day for the last 7 months. And honestly, I'm surprised by how I feel about it. That's 7 months of real world use, long enough to figure out what actually drives me crazy and what still makes me reach for it every morning despite all the compromises. Let's start with the thing that, after 7 months, still hasn't stopped impressing me. Every time I pull the Air out of my pocket, my brain has a little "wait, that can't be right" moment. And that's not a coincidence. We are talking 5.64 millimeters, that's the thinnest iPhone Apple has ever built. And at 165 grams, it's almost 70 grams lighter than the iPhone 17 Pro Max. That sounds like a number on a spec sheet, but in real life, it's a massive difference. My 17 Pro Max starts to feel like a small brick in my hand after a while. The Air, sometimes I genuinely forget I'm holding it. I've handed it to 4 or 5 friends already, and the reaction is always the same. First confusion, then wait, is this actually an iPhone? I've never had that with any other phone. And that premium feel isn't just hidden in the numbers. The titanium frame, currently the only iPhone in the lineup that still uses titanium. The matte glass back, the polished sides. It all feels high-end without being slippery. I've been running it caseless the whole time, simply because slapping a case on it kind of defeats the entire point of this phone. The only times I do put a case on are situations where I really can't keep an eye on it, like at the gym. The 6.5-inch OLED in the Air is basically identical to the one in the 17 Pro. 120Hz ProMotion up to 3000 nits peak brightness, always on, the whole package. Apple didn't cut corners here just because the Air is thinner. And 6.5 inches is honestly the absolute sweet spot for me. Big enough to actually enjoy content on, but small enough to use it one-handed. Compared to the Pro Max, the difference when reading in bed or having the phone in your pocket is night and day. Performance is the second surprise. The Air runs the same A19 Pro chip as the 17 Pro, just with one less GPU core. In daily use, you notice zero difference. Apps open instantly, CapCut edits run smoothly, and even demanding games run without a hinge. The only thing the slim design can't fully hide is the heat. During longer sessions, think extended 4K video recording, longer gaming sessions, or navigation in direct sunlight, the camera plateau gets noticeably warm. Not hot, not unusable, but that's where all the internals are crammed into the thinnest possible space. And you can feel it. Now let's get to the topic everyone warned me about, the battery. And I will just say it straight. The battery is okay, but no more than that. On normal days, work, a bit of social media, music, messages, I get through the day just fine. On heavier days, with lots of filming, photos, navigation, it gets tight. That's why I picked up a MagSafe power bank within the first few weeks. Whenever I know I'll be out for a while, I just stick it on and done. The Air still stays slim enough to fit in any pocket, and I only top it up while I'm not using the phone anyway. Plus, I almost always have a way to charge it quickly. Wireless charging in the car, MagSafe on my desk, at home. Is it a compromise? Yes. Will I do it again the same way? Also yes. Because for 90% of my days, I don't need a Pro Max weight in my hand just so I can skip charging once a week. Now the part where most people tap out. One camera. And I get the skepticism completely. I was unsure too. But after 7 months, I can honestly say one camera is almost always enough for me. And the reason is simple. The 48 megapixel main sensor is the exact same one Apple put in the 17 Pro. So image quality isn't even up for debate. You're getting the same photos and videos the Pro takes. What I do miss sometimes is the ultra wide. When I'm standing in front of a cafe and want the whole storefront in the frame, that's when I notice it. The telephoto from the Pro, I honestly don't miss it at all. Digital zoom on the main camera is surprisingly good, and for what I shoot, the quality is more than enough. Is it a deal breaker? For me personally, no. For someone who takes photography seriously, probably yes. It really depends on how you use your phone. And now the things that genuinely bug me after 7 months. Number 1, the mono speaker. This is the biggest weakness for me. When I'm on the couch in the evening watching a YouTube video without headphones, the sound is fine, but you can immediately tell there are no stereo speakers. Compared directly to the 17 Pro, it's night and day. Stereo is generally missing here. In the shower, while cooking, anywhere I rely on a speaker audio, I notice it. That said, I have to admit that after a while I got used to it and it stopped bothering me as much as it did in the start. Almost 1,200 euros for a phone that on paper offers less than the regular iPhone 17, which cost 200 euros less. That's a tough sell. I get what Apple is charging for titanium, the thinnest iPhone ever, the Pro chip. But it's still uncomfortable. And honestly, that explains why so many people are choosing the regular iPhone 17 right now. These days, the iPhone Air is already going for around 800 euros from a lot of legit retailers. That's an unusual steep drop for an iPhone. But at that price, the iPhone Air is absolutely worth it in my opinion. If you want a truly different, special iPhone again, the Air is worth a serious look. So, will I buy the iPhone Air again? Yes, but with an asterisk. I really like it. I love the design, the way it feels in the hand, the display, the sides. It's the first iPhone in years that genuinely puts a little smile on my face every morning when I pull it out of my pocket. But I also can't pretend there are no compromises. The speaker, the original price, and only one camera. Those are real trade-offs. And honestly, if Apple drops a second speaker into the iPhone Air 2, gives it a bigger battery and maybe even adds an ultra-wide lens, then we are talking about probably the best iPhone Apple has ever made. Until then, the iPhone Air remains for me the most interesting iPhone of the last few years, even if the sale numbers say otherwise. Drop a comment, do you have an iPhone Air? Will you buy one? Or would you rather pass? I'm genuinely curious. If you enjoyed the video, leave a like and subscribe to the channel, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!